We live in a day and time that I tell you what, there is so much falling out going around everywhere. You know, since I work with teenagers, I see it a lot in teenagers that used to. I can remember come to our camp, come to our Sunday school, come to camp, faithful member, and the devil grabs them and pulls them away. There's so much falling out. You know, the world offers them all kinds of different things. You know, it offers them a different kind of gospel, a more fun gospel with the rock music and the smoke and the lights, and they come all together and worship God. They say, listen, you can't go to somewhere and worship with a bunch of Catholics. There's nothing common there. You can't go and worship somewhere with a bunch of Church of Christ, Methodist, Lutheran, so forth and so on. Because you don't have the same foundation. But there's such a falling away among young people. It's even happening to older folks. You know, yeah, there are times where, you know, you want to, I've talked to my wife sometimes like, I quit. I just can't take it no more. And you need to look past that and see who's behind all that. You know, sometimes it seems like it's a chore to be a Christian. Because the devil makes us, we get our eyes on the other things and we think, man, Lord, why? I just need to quit. I don't like quitters. Get out there and try at least. We have this, you know, the Bible talks about there is a great falling away. You know, churches like ours are dying. I always tell our young people downstairs, you're going to have to stand in the gap. You're going to have to be the Sunday school teachers. You're going to have to be the missionaries. You're going to have to be what God would have you to be. There's all kinds of devices that Satan uses against us. If you have your Bible tonight, go to 2 Corinthians. Chapter number 2. And let's look at, starting with verse 1. But I determined this with myself, that I would not come again to you in heaviness. For I make you sorry, who is he then that maketh me glad? But the same which has made me sorry by me. And I wrote this same unto you, lest when I came, I should have sorrow for them whom I ought to rejoice, having confidence in you all, that my joy is the joy of you all. For out of much affliction and anguish of heart I wrote unto you with many tears, not that ye should be grieved, but that ye might know the love which I have more abundantly unto you. But if I have caused grief, he that not grieve me, but in part that I may not overcharge you all. Sufficient to such a man this punishment which was inflicted of many. So that contrariwise ye ought rather to forgive him, comfort him, lest perhaps such one should be swallowed up with overmuch sorrow. Wherefore I beseech ye that ye confirm your love toward him. You know, the devil has many devices, and we'll kind of go through them a little bit here tonight. Someone was like, Max preaching, we're going to be out here quick. Well, I have 18 points. So if I only spend a couple minutes on each point, we might be here a little bit, but we'll get through this. Number one, if you're keeping score, disappointment. We've all been disappointed by not getting what we wanted at all times. We can see that in children. You see it at the grocery store or anywhere else. I've seen where the kids throw themselves on the floor and they go limp, or they want this and they want that, and mom has to drag them off. You know, being a dad, I never let any of my daughters do that. You don't get what you want. We're paying for it now in society. The generation think they are entitled to things. I need that. I want that. I should have that. It doesn't matter. I want it now. And we have a generation, I'm not picking on your generation, we have a generation, a bunch of brats. I can see it at my workplace. Just the young guys that come in, they agreed to what they're getting paid for. They agreed to it. They come in, don't do the job, sit around on their phone, text, selfie, this, that, so forth, so on. Well, I don't like that. Well, tough. But we have a generation that thinks they're entitled to everything. And sometimes it creeps into the church. I'm entitled to that. No. I'm entitled. No, I should have went to hell. But the children, they have disappointment. You know, well, I wanted that. You know, you could turn to Romans 8:28. You know, we all things that work together for good to love them, love God, who are called according to His purpose. You're going to have disappointment in life. It's going to happen. It's going to come. It's how you deal with it. We've all been disappointed. There'll be days coming up, I'm sure I'm going to be disappointed again and again and again. But you just keep going. The devil uses disappointment. Number 2, discouragement. We get discouraged. We get discouraged with one another. We get discouraged with our families, our friends. We just get discouraged in just day-to-day life. You know, sometimes I get on Facebook and I look at different comments and different things about our country, and people saying things. It's discouraging. Sometimes I think social media is probably one of the worst things that we've ever got involved with. You know, I don't care what you have for breakfast. You don't care what I'm having for lunch. I've done it. I've put food on there before. This is what I'm having. What would you do? Good job. But you have all this social media and just ungodly things that you know pop up and just we get discouraged. The Bible says we fear not, don't be discouraged. You know, we shouldn't have a discouraged heart. You know, the Bible calls about we should be overcomers. We're to overcome this world, not discouragement. Number 3, despair. Despair is the third stage of disappointment and discouragement. Unless checked, it can destroy your Christian life. While we're in 2 Corinthians, let's jump over to chapter number 4. We look at verse 8. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Despair will come, just like disappointment, discouragement, despair. You know, we are troubled on every side. Just day-to-day living, we're troubled on every side. You know, for the last year or two, I've been sick in the last couple of years more than I ever have. You know, I don't know if I'm just getting older and the body is breaking down more. But it seems like the people I know have been sick, you know, more than ever. You know, that brings on despair. You know, Lord, why is this going on? Doubt. You ever doubt God? You ever question God? You know, we dare not to say it out loud. But the devil tries to put that in your heart sometimes, that you doubt God. You know what he has for me? Because I always got to have a backup plan. Well, God, if this doesn't happen, what? We have that doubt. And I can testify today that God has never disappointed me or let me down. There have been times where I was thinking, Lord, I don't know what to do. Then he's thinking, that's where I want you. That's where I want you. Yeah, I want you to your wit's end. I want you to be disappointed, so you'll have to come to me. Man, if I can just get that through my skull sometimes, to go there in the first place, boy, they'd save a lot of heartache in between there. He wants us to get to that place. We can turn there. We go back to the garden. Number 5, just plain out disbelief. Just don't believe God. And that's the way we live sometimes. We don't believe God. My daughters have played sports in the past and that sort of thing. And Wednesday night is always an issue. Sunday is always an issue. Coach saying, well, you don't need to go to church all the time to worship God. You can miss church, it'll be all right. I think God done had all of his days planned, for one. Maybe that was a night God was going to deal with me with something. Maybe that was a night God was going to deal with one of my children about something. Number 6, distraction. Oh my. We get distracted so easily. Teenagers, you get distracted so easily. I can read it on your faces. It's like something, just goes on. One can be sidetracked from God's perfect will by your family, by your job. Let's go to Matthew chapter 14. Look at verse 30. But when he saw the wind boisterous, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried, saying, Lord, save me. This was, man, we take our eyes off the Lord. I've said it before, I don't know how people in this world can live without the Lord. Just the day-to-day life. The things that are going on in the world, the hideous, the evil things that are happening everywhere. Who knows? Break out into war. Just living day-to-day life without him, I don't understand. I couldn't make it through a day without him. Even though I fail him every day, he's always there to pick me back up, forgive me, and restore me, and I go on. We get distracted. The Bible talks about being double-minded. Double-minded man in Greek means to be double-souled, to be double-minded. You're a politician. You're this way with somebody. You're this way with somebody else. Well, which is it? Are you this way at school? Are you this way here? Are you this way at work? Are you this way here? You're being double-minded. Dishonest. Wow. You can be dishonest by lying, cheating, holding back certain facts. It's estimated that over 500 million is raised each year by false faith healers. Wow. 500 million a year by being dishonest. I wouldn't want to be them. Deceit. Plain out deceitfulness. You know, therefore, let's see, many deceivers are in this world. We can talk about, the folks on TV and the televangelists and just people we know. I know of people that's kind of deceitful. They don't tell the whole truth. If you're a child of God, we need to tell the truth. You should be deceitful. Dullness. Dullness means sleepiness to the things of God. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. You can't teach me nothing, Pastor. You ever read the Bible and you come across a verse and God gives you something else out of that verse that you've never seen before? I tell you, he does it time and time and time again. You can't exhaust this book. You can read that same passage over and over and over, and God will give you something else from it. Why? Because it's God's mind. Deadness. Unchecked dullness. You're just pretty much dead to the things of God. I've been there. Usually we use the term backslidden. Sometimes you just get in a rut. And sometimes you think, well, why bother? Discord. Bible talks about discord, showing discord among the brethren. Running your mouth. Okay, let's go to Proverbs. Oh, that don't happen. Yeah. I'm getting there with my teeny tiny print here. I'm almost there with you. Okay, we're here. Bible talks about in verse 16, chapter number 6. These 6 things do what the Lord hate ye. 7 are an abomination to him. A proud look, which happens all the time. A lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, and a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Man, look around us. Look around in the world. Feet that be swift and running to mischief. Drama. People just love drama, don't they? Get on Facebook and look around and watch some of the conversations go on. Man, people run to that stuff. Man. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren. You better watch what you say about the child of God in the church. Watch what you say about one another. Because guess what? You're sowing discord. God takes that very seriously. How in the world would somebody want to come and visit our church if we're talking bad about each other? They get that from the world. Defilement. Defilement with the things of the world. God insists upon a clean vessel. A believer who defiles himself with the things of this world can never be fully used by God, regardless of his education, ability, energy, or experience. If you defile yourself with the things of the world, God can't use you. He wants to use a clean vessel. This is probably one of the biggest ones the devil uses against us. Discontent. One of Satan's favorite lies to tell people that things will be better if they go elsewhere. Talk about you can leave the church. You know, there's only a couple reasons to leave church. Now, if our pastor goes off into error and starts teaching error and preaching error, by all means, I would leave. And probably the number one reason, well, God moved me. But where do you go to church now? Well, we're still looking. Well, you've been gone 3 years. God hasn't led you somewhere? How about you just get up and mad and leave the church? How is God going to use you when you didn't make things right when you left to begin with? He can't. God gets a lot of blame for things, doesn't he? Discontent. People are discontent with their church. Discontent with their marriage partners. So they just give up. Delay. Delay is another one that the devil uses. You know, with the delay salvation, delay service to God. Disobedience. Man, we can go through the Bible all night long and see disobedience. People that was disobedient to God. Debt. Man, did I make mistakes when I was young. Those little plastic cards that you get when you're first married, and you get those things and you think, wow, I can get this and only pay $30 a month for the rest of my life. I didn't see that in the old brochure they gave me. Debt. Well, you say, well, how does the devil use that? I don't know, maybe God wants to put you on a missionary field. You have so much debt, you can't go. You got to do this and that and everything, get everything squared away. The Bible talks about we need to be wise stewards. I said all that. The devil uses all these devices. I'm sure there's plenty more. I want to end with this illustration. I love baseball. I didn't say I love the Reds. I said I love baseball. I love the game. Just there's something about watching a baseball game. You know, even going down and seeing the Reds. There's something about going down to the ballpark, smelling the air, there's something about a hot dog at the Reds game. It tastes better there for some reason. Peanuts, that sort of thing at the Reds game. But there's something about the game that just fascinates me. I love watching it. Maybe it's the crack of the bat when the home run's hit. Maybe it's all the other things that are going on, the sacrifices and the different plays and the different rules and this and that, so forth and so on. There's something about it that I loved. I played it when I was younger. There's just something about that game that I love to watch. If we had a diamond up here, we can put first base. We'll put salvation on first base. That's A, number one. How do you get to first base? You need to be saved. You can't go. You can't do nothing else until you get saved. You're on first base. Man, when you're in baseball, you're the batter. I can remember playing in high school, and man, I didn't want to strike out. I wanted to get on base every single time. Man, when I would foul out, there's nothing worse than fouling out. 2 strikes, you hit a ball in the foul area, and they called it. Boy, you just took the bat out of my hands. But there's something about just wanting to get there, the first base every time. Whatever it took to get to first base. That should be the same way with salvation. Man, we got to, if you're here lost, man, there's nothing I can tell you, but you need to be saved. You've got to get on the first base. Second base. Baptism, church membership. That's a gimme. You're on first base now. I got to get to second. Listen, in high school, even though I was way slimmer than I'm not stealing many bases. Okay? But man, I wanted to get to second base. Once I got on first, man, my goal was to make it home. Whatever I had to do to try to get home, I'm going to do. Salvation at first. Second is baptism. Okay? Church membership. Listen, by the way, baptism doesn't save you. Salvation is way before baptism. Church membership. Third base. Christian service. We got Christian service now. Now we're saved. We're baptized. We're a member of the church. We're going to serve the Lord through our local church now. And of course, home plate. That's the finished job. That's where you want to go. There was a game played one time. Two teams up. Fella gets up to bat. Game was tied. And he's up to bat. And he swings, misses. Swings and misses. But on the third pitch, he hits this ball. They thought it was going to be a home run. Everybody cheering and screaming. It hits the top of the fence, comes back in, and is rolling around in the outfield. And they start telling him, run. Run. So he runs first. Telling the coach saying, go, go. Run to second. Third base coach. Come on, keep running, keep running. Sends him to third. Third base coach says, go on home. Runs home. About the time the outfielder grabs the ball, throws it, and comes home. Catcher grabs it. He slides. There's a cloud of dust. And they call him out. Fans are going crazy. The team's going crazy. The umpires have a meeting. And the first base umpire said he never touched first base. Sometimes that's our problem in the churches we have here. People never got saved to begin with. He never touched first base. He missed it by 6 inches. Are you sure you're saved? Listen, I can't save you. Our church can't save you. Our pastor can't save you. It's only God can save you. Don't be like that illustration and miss it. You missed first base. Yeah, you went to second base. Great. You went to third base. Great. You went home. Great. You missed first base. You missed salvation. And that was the one you should have started with. Have musicians come. Listen, I don't know your need tonight, but God does. God can meet your needs. Everybody stand, please. And hymnals turn to 489.